What's up?
Okay.
Oh, good. How are you?
Yeah, looks like we're back. So yeah, that other debate we just had, I think I'm probably gonna have to just put in the audio version. Cause dude, I just paid $40 to fix my computer's mistakes. So yeah, that video I saved it. I got the audio thing, but it's dude,
It
it
is
looks
written
like
in the 200 and
yeah, it looks horrible.
Israeli army.
Yes, that fucking sucks. But yeah, basically, like so, Slit. What he was saying was that apparently, like Israel was trying to just take out the north because there's some infrastructure under there. Wait, let me take another one of my prescription medications because my brain is just. So yeah, he was saying that in the north of Gaza, apparently there's a lot of infrastructure, like tunnels and all that. Like that's why Israel decided to bomb the north versus the south. It's because they have all that infrastructure and they evacuated those buildings. And apparently the only reason why these, like the civilian death rate, why there's any civilians even dying, is because Hamas is not letting them leave. They're just like keeping them in the buildings, and if they try to leave, they'll just shoot them. So yeah, like I don't know. I hadn't really heard of that, but
Yes. I think I've linked you a source of like a video of like Hamas blocking like highways with trucks and stuff
yeah,
of guns.
I think like 2 days ago, they came out and actually saying, yeah, we use them for ourselves.
yeah. Like I've heard of this whole human shield thing, but like yeah, my example again from the like school shooting. If person has a gun to a kid's head, you don't just blow up the entire school. You have to negotiate with that person. Like again, I'd say that what Israel should do is to send in their soldiers. In that case, wait, what did you send me?
Yeah, this is the
Sorry.
hospital that I explained it.
Oh yeah, I don't know. Like this, they're doing this whole thing. I don't think that's actual camera footage. Is that like actual camera footage? How would they know about all
No,
that?
this is not
No,
camera footage.
it's a 3D model
Yeah,
that
Yeah.
models what's under
yeah,
the intel Israel
yeah,
has.
yeah. So like I saw that, but if they have something like that, like you could just bomb the hospital. So the reason why they like after they evacuate, there's still so many people who end up dying is because Hamas doesn't let them leave. So like I mean, what I'd
Leave.
say to that is you go in there, you bring some like you bring the Israeli soldiers and you gun down the people who are preventing anyone from leaving. And again, like there are going to be casualties, but it's not going to be civilian casualties. It's going to be military casualties, and that's what the military is there for. That's why you sign up to the military because that's the job. However, civilians, their job
Israel
isn't.
actually already did that.
Wait,
They
so
had a fight with a bunch of Hamas that tried to stop people from moving south. So Israel attacked them, won the battle, and then freed up the road to the south. That's why there's suddenly thousands going to the south.
yeah. So if Israel could just do that, like go in and like stop Hamas from like stopping the civilians from moving out, moving to the south, why can't they just continue doing that? Like just take out Hamas in that fashion instead of just bombing.
They are trying, but you remember there are a lot of buildings with tunnels underneath them.
Yeah. So like
Because if
yeah,
because like some Hamas members are going to be like, "Yo, you got IDF soldiers heading in your direction." There could be snipers on top. There could be Hamas snipers on top of buildings. That's more IDF soldiers that Hamas can take as hostages.
I don't know
It,
if snipers, but they would just get ready with more people around the building or on different buildings to shoot down Israel
yeah.
soldiers.
And yeah, war is bloody. There are going to be casualties, like regardless. Like people who are saying, "Oh well, if the IDF kills anybody, if there's anything but a 0% civilian casualty rate, they're just like doing something. Like, of course, there are going to be people dying, but I think they could definitely minimize the amount of people dying by a lot by just doing that. And even if there are IDF soldiers who are going to die, well, that's sort of the mission that they set out. Like, that's sort of what you sign up for when you join the military. You might die, it might call for that, but like civilians are always the more important like place. That's like what the
You
military is
might
there for.
die, yes, but if your country sends you to a mission who knows you probably will die, then it's a bad country. There is no country, that was said before, there is no country that will send their military knowing, oh yeah, they most likely will not return,
The
or
United
one
States.
of five will return.
Yeah.
US it didn't send a group that known most likely she will die. Most of the people who killed Bin Laden survived.
Yeah, I know, but like for example, with World War II, weren't they just sending a bunch of like I don't know? I'm just going off of the movies that I saw from history class, where like the
Yeah,
for,
but World War II, they have like a group against a group on a random land, because at the time Germany had like tons of land because they conquered most.
yeah.
So you had a group against a group, and you can't actually change too much and gain any extra chance for your people to survive.
Well, yeah,
In
like you
Gaza,
have
you
to do
have.
what you have to do, and the argument would be like they still had to send their civilians in, even if I mean, their military in, even if they knew a lot of them would die, because like Germany just had to be taken out. Well, I think in the same way, like you gotta do what you gotta do. Like a bunch of civilians,
Yeah,
way too
but
many
let's
civilians
say
is
like
dying.
that,
You
okay?
gotta.
Let's say like that. US just we talked about it before, but US just did and had 9/11. They
What?
started. They found the perpetrator in Iraq. They didn't just send people to Iraq. They first of all cleaned the place to make the land of the people safer.
How do they
It's
clean the
the
place?
safe in Gaza with bombs.
Yeah, so they clean the place with bombs, but like that, yeah, that's gonna kill a bunch of civilians.
Yeah, but it's a war.
Yeah, I know it's a war, but like in a war again, like you're the second.
You don't is as long again it's a war law that you're not supposed to target civilians,
Of
but
course.
it's okay to target a military site or your enemy, and in that time civilians might die, and that's okay.
Yeah, I
And
mean
Israel
they bombed a
doing
lot more than
exactly
military
that.
sites. Yeah, but
Yeah, but when you have rooms of kids with missiles, like you can see right now in Gaza, you have multiple rooms with the kids just having the toys, and beside the toys there are missiles. So Israel have to shoot down those places.
yeah, they like little kids who have missile toys. How does that work?
No missile toys. You have Hamas members putting weapons and stuff in the kids' bedroom.
Oh yeah, yeah. So
So
Hamas is killing them.
Israel will not shoot him down.
Oh. Oh yeah, so it's sort of like them putting the like reserves under the hospital, so that oh well, if you nuke that hospital, you're killing a bunch of civilians. Like that's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So So like they just have their reserves like next to a bunch of civilians. Like I definitely see that Hamas is trying to make it so that the civilian casualties on their side are as high as possible, so that Israel looks bad. But like again, the whole point is to end up eradicating Hamas. And no matter how you do that, if you just keep bombing these people, like, oh well, what are you gonna do? Hamas is gonna get it. Well, it's the like it's pretty much the deaths are on their hands at this point. But at the end of the day, like, what if you do that? If you
Is
end up
it? Wait, is it?
well,
Because
Yeah,
they
that's
are
Hamas.
they are blaming they are blaming it on Israel, and almost everyone in the world is on their side.
well, I definitely think if Israel is bombing civilians in Gaza, but it's not because they have to, because like there are terrorists there and they're telling them to evacuate, but the people won't
Yeah, but
like
Israel already given several proofs, and and Hamas already said it themselves.
yeah.
And yet you still see millions on the street. You still have the UN asking for ceasefire.
Yeah, but yeah, I definitely see where you're coming from. But so let's say there is no ceasefire, we just keep like bombing Gaza. How long do you think before we achieve our goals? Like our goals would be to take out Hamas. I just
Israel is not bombing right now. Israel is on foot. They are already inside city of Gaza.
so they're done bombing. Why would anyone be calling for a ceasefire if they're already done bombing?
Because they are not bombing like in the amount they used to do. Because right now they have soldiers on the ground.
Yeah,
They
I
are
think
still, if now a Hamas member coming out of a tunnel, because they're doing it a lot, coming out of the tunnel, putting the rocket launchers and starting shooting missiles, because like I said, there are still a lot of missiles in Israel, firing to Israel every day from the start of the war.
yeah.
Like, and they're still doing this, and then Israel sees him shooting from a location, they bomb the location.
Yeah, of course.
But that's only after they shoot Israel. So they are still shooting them with airstrike to cripple their firing rockets at Israel. But most of the fighting right now is by the soldiers.
Yeah,
Is by the soldiers on the ground.
okay, so I mean the thing is I don't know anything about like all that like all of this sounds new to me, but what I like it seems like your perspective is they're only targeting these sites where Hamas has proven to like be over there, and the only reason why there's any civilian casualties is because like as much as Israel is gonna tell them to evacuate, Hamas is just not gonna let these people evacuate. Well, the thing is in South Gaza, like Israel told civilians to move down to South Gaza because they would only bomb the north, and then like this refugee camp was just bombed like in South Gaza. Was it just like I'm pretty sure there were hundreds of casualties. Was Hamas just all over there? Because I heard there was just one Hamas member that they were trying to kill over
From
there.
what
Like
I heard from the Israeli side, there was not like tens of them, but there were a group of Hamas members inside there. Now, when you say a refugee camp, it's a bunch of buildings.
yeah, so
Like
I mean
if you look at the photos of the area,
yeah, I don't know
it's a
if
bunch
this
of
is
buildings.
yeah.
Just write in on Google like the refugee camp that's
Yeah,
bombed. It's just a bunch of buildings.
yeah,
It's not actually a refugee camp. It's buildings which people enter to like while they're trying to go south. Now, if Israel shut it down, I believe like there is a reason. Like I can't see a reason why Israel will try to stab themselves in the back, saying, "Yeah, we don't shoot civilians, then shoot a
Yeah.
refugee camp."
So they did that because there was, I feel there was one that like, let's just say there was some Hamas members there. Like, apparently in that, like, them bombing that camp in South Gaza, it killed hundreds of people. Was Hamas just all over that camp, preventing anybody from leaving? Because, like, either Israel didn't want that they were bombing that camp, or like there were so many civilians who died in it because Hamas was just all over on them, just like, do you think that's what happened? And if Hamas is all over in South Gaza, well, there's no way they're going to exterminate Hamas over there, because Hamas is just, like, clearly just migrating to South Gaza then. And, like, there's a bunch of UN sites that were, I know, UN safe houses and all that were also bombed. So, I mean, I'm guessing Hamas can't just go in there and, like, I don't know, take everybody hostage and force them to stay in there.
They can, but
Like in that refugee camp in South Gaza, was like Hamas just like forcing everybody to stay inside, and that's
if
why they died.
I don't know exactly why Israel shut it down. It might be from what I said before that they just shoot missiles from random locations. I can count how many missiles that they shot already today if you want, and there were around like 30.
Yeah, right.
So today, after all the fighting, after Israel took over Gaza City, they still shoot 30 missiles a day.
We're talking about Israel or Hamas.
Hamas.
Yeah.
Hamas at Israel.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Hamas still has a bunch of missiles to just be. I don't know,
Yeah, underground.
but I mean, yeah, there's I guess probably a lot of Hamas still in Gaza. I think obviously the number one solution, Qatar. Obviously, like, there's a lot of Hamas members sitting in Qatar. Pay off Qatar and get the the headquarters. They have like their headquarters. Hamas has their headquarters in Qatar. Like, that'd be the biggest blow you could do to them, rather than like if there's this.
But why would Lebanon give them up?
Because they would pay them off. Like, Israel has all the money in the world. They're like one of the like richest
Israel
nations.
doesn't have all the money in the world, and
I mean, we
Lebanon
literally
is being
fund their
paid by
government.
Iran.
Wait, what about Iran?
Lebanon has Hezbollah. Hezbollah is being paid together with Hamas
Yeah.
by Iran.
Yeah, I heard that Hezbollah is like a lot richer than Hamas, but like if you're trying to take out Hamas because they did the October 7th attack, I think it, like, since their headquarters are apparently in Qatar, it makes a lot more sense to like pay off the Qatari government to take out their headquarters rather than like stay in this catch-22
Yeah, but Lebanon
situation.
is working together with Hezbollah.
Yeah. Lebanon, I don't know what Lebanon is. I was talking about Qatar.
Lebanon is a country north to Israel.
Oh. Yeah.
Lebanon, Lebanon is a country that have a terror organization aside from the government, but the government doesn't care to let them like operate because
Yeah.
they are doing like the job that Lebanon wants to do anyway. So Hezbollah is working together with Hamas and Lebanon. Why would Lebanon let Israel come to their land and kill the people they want to keep safe?
I don't know I don't know about Lebanon, but I was saying Qatar, like not Lebanon.
Qatar is inside Lebanon. Qatar is a city inside Lebanon.
Isn't Qatar a fucking country? I thought Qatar was a fucking, wow, I'm a dumbass, but Yeah, anyway, because if Israel pays them enough, and on top of that, it gives world peace. Like, if they accept that deal, they will look good. It will look good on them. Otherwise, they form an enemy with Israel, and that's probably gonna hurt them a lot. So, like, Israel could probably
Wait, I
do some
might be
negotiating.
wrong. I was sure Lebanon. Wait.
Like, they could
There's like a
negotiate.
bunch of. So I don't know a whole lot about Qatar, but I know that there's a couple of I know that there's reasons why Israel just can't stroll in there and kill the Hamas members.
Hmm.
Like there's I think that's how Israel makes a bunch of enemies. Um, if they like start
And
conducting military operations on like over in Qatar or something.
I mean,
yeah.
to be fair, they were attacked. They have every right to defend themselves, as
Oh,
everybody
my
is saying.
mistake. I thought Beirut is Qatar. No, no, no.
And I think that's where they defend
Uh,
themselves. And then if Qatar doesn't let them like go ahead and carry out their acts of self-defense, then Qatar looks really bad because oh well, Israel had a peaceful solution to bring about. Just let us take out the Hamas headquarters in like where you are because that's where they are. And if Qatar declines that offer, firstly, they're declining a good deal, and they'll have the whole world turn on them. So like I don't see why they would refuse.
yeah, but why would they do that if
Yeah,
they
you have
are
to remember that Qatar is like what
is
is
a
a Muslim
Muslim
majority?
country?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have they
So
even tried making deals with Qatar? I mean, I heard
I don't
maybe
know. It might be.
I heard maybe they have
so
like one article, but I don't know because that's what I heard a bunch of people saying, and it makes sense. But yeah, I don't really know. I guess.
yeah, so
And again, even if you cut off Hamas heads, you
Yeah.
still have the body to take care of. So
You still have what?
you still have the body, the main force body of Hamas in Gaza.
Well,
So even if let's say they're working with the other country to let them kill those people, which I don't believe they will let, but let's say they will, Hamas, the people in Gaza still have thousands upon thousands of soldiers of Hamas.
well, yeah,
You
that's
yeah.
why
think they
like
will
the
just
point is not to
disappear when it's
cripple.
happened?
Yeah, but
Yeah, but it will not cripple them because they don't need their commanders,
Hmm.
their heads of Hamas. They just need to defend against IDF. So when
Don't
they
the
see
commanders
IDF, they
not to give
just
the
come
command?
out.
I know. I feel like
Uh,
if you kill the people on top, like those are the people who sent out the orders, so they aren't gonna be getting any more orders. So you just kill the people on top, and there you go. And then the people on the bottom are gonna be scared, like, oh well, they took out our big leaders and stuff. Like they took out the head of the snake. So oh shit, like that's I know. I feel like that's way more damage than killing the little guys at the bottom of that who are just carrying out orders.
yeah,
They
but
kill the people who are
most
giving the
of
orders.
them, like, not most, but some of them are speaking to the public in around the world. So you have one of them which move from city to city, like I don't remember the name of him. He was in Lebanon a week ago, saying, "Yeah, October the 7th will repeat itself again and again and again, and that's how we'll win against
Yeah.
Israel." And a few days later, he was in Egypt talking with a US reporter and saying, "Yeah, we just want peace."
Yeah, I mean, clearly Hamas doesn't want peace, but yeah, again, I think at the end of the day, like you keep bombing these sites every single time that like a bunch of civilians, I don't know, in Gaza, like civilians in Gaza who already like occupied in horrible conditions, who already hold a lot of hatred. like you start bombing them, you tell them to move to the south, then you bomb the south too. Every time that this type of stuff happens, this like their family members die, you're just gonna have more people who are just filled with hatred, who want their revenge, and you're just gonna be creating more Hamas members. So I think obviously like
Yeah,
the
but
first
you
step is
don't
to
care
take.
about tomorrow. That's one of a misstep about the world. You don't think about tomorrow when you try to survive. You think about what we need to do right now, and then after we finish what we did now, what we need to do now, then we think about tomorrow.
Then
Yeah.
we think about
So
Hamas.
right now, yeah, tomorrow, like after we finish Hamas.
But the morality matters
So
now. It doesn't matter after once like everything's been done. And I mean, if we go with this like, oh well, I guess we did some wrong back then, but we only acknowledge it once it's over. Like, what's the point?
Mm, because like you know how like the IDF it can't tell us everything
Oh yeah,
about its military operations right
yeah,
now.
oh
So
yeah.
therefore, how can we make moral judgments if we don't have all the information right now?
Well,
It's
based
only
on
until
the
after the conflict.
information we have, yeah. So
It's
yeah, he
only
also,
until
yeah, go on.
it's only until the conflict is over that we would have all the information to make the moral judgments.
Yeah. Oh shit! Apparently his computer something happened, but yeah, like he was
It's just like
also.
how with sorry, it's just like how with court cases, like some of them can like go on for like a year after the initial incident, but like and like a year is still a long time ago, but we're still treating it as recent. So like
Yeah, of course.
that would be an example of like maybe us not focusing on what's immediately happened.
ah,
Yeah. Okay.
sorry, my computer
No, you good.
started to shut. Where was so when Israel will finish with cleansing Gaza from Hamas specifically, then they can think about what to do with the rest of the Palestinian, and of course the answer will be to have them have a group to govern and give them what they actually need and not to
Yeah.
govern them with oh, I will just take all your money and your
Mm.
food and your water and
But
not
I just
build anything
yeah.
for you with that.
But I just feel like that's probably what they should have done a long time ago. Since, like, I mean, you were mentioning apparently Gaza isn't really a part of Israel. Like, that's why they weren't like giving them humanitarian conditions. Apparently, they aren't really segregated.
They
They're
weren't
just a different
supposed to, but
state.
they still did. They were. I don't see any reason why Israel supposed to give them water and electricity.
Because
They
they
had like 17 to 18 years to build with tons of money, by the way.
well Hamas.
They had to build, yeah, for Hamas and for the Palestinian over there, to build any way to clean water,
Yeah.
to have a water for themselves and electricity for themselves. But instead of doing that, they decided to keep
Yeah, that was
buying
Hamas. Yeah.
weapons and making rockets out of the infrastructure of the city. They
Yeah.
pulled out tons of
Yeah, I know. But
uh,
yeah, I know about all that, but the thing is that didn't start yesterday. Like that, like we October 7th, that like Netanyahu was treating this like a wake up call or whatever. But it's like back then when they started like doing that stuff, we tried to give them money and Hamas used it that way. Like why didn't we just take out Hamas back then? Because then it would have been an appropriate thing. And the thing is, like you're saying,
Hamas
like, oh,
was created in 2005.
wait, what?
Hamas, when Israel back away from Gaza, Hamas was created, and he was a body in Gaza with Fatah, which is another body for the of the Palestinian. And both of them were at war at each other until 2006, when Hamas took over and killed every Fatah member in Gaza. That's how they took over.
Yeah.
So you have the group there, which most of the people accepted and prefer even, and that's how you got stuck with that. Not because of the fact that Israel occupying the place. No, Israel is providing them money and first of all money, a lot of money, just to keep them from shooting missiles at Jewish civilians around the Gaza.
Wait, so they're already
And
negotiating with terrorists then?
yeah, they're giving the money long time ago. That's one thing that a lot of the people in Israel hates Netanyahu for, because he kept giving them more money, trying to subdue their appetite of killing Jews with money.
Yeah, so what's this thing now about, like, they aren't taking the hostage deal because they don't negotiate with terrorists? Wait, so they do negotiate with terrorists? But, like,
Yeah, but you cannot negotiate with releasing terrorists for who will tomorrow will come and kill you.
yeah, I mean, again,
Israel did it before. Israel did it before with one Jewish soldier alive for like 500 of them.
yeah,
500.
yeah, but like again, what the proposal was, it wasn't like give us our terrorists for your civilians. It was like, when October 7th happened, all the Palestinians who worked in the Israeli government, they just put them in for questioning. Which again, I agree with them doing that. That's fair. But then instead of
But like I
releasing
said,
them, like these were civilians.
There is no Palestinian who work for the government.
Like so
There is no Palestinian who work for the government.
But there were Palestinians who worked in the Israeli government on October 7th. That's why when that happened, they
No,
took them in for questioning. Like, what?
no, the men who took for questioning are the Al-Aqsa Brigade who entered Israel and were caught alive.
Like,
Because Israel tried to caught as many of them alive to get information.
yeah. I mean, again, like that would make sense. I feel like if somebody came into Israel with like guns and knives and stuff, Israel wouldn't just like try to keep them alive. I feel like Israel would just shoot them down. But I mean, from what I've
Most of
heard,
them
that
they did, but if they surrender, or if they somehow manage to incapacitate them without killing them,
yeah,
like some of them even were in the in Jewish hospitals
yeah.
with the people they tried to kill.
I don't know, like I don't know, because again, I keep forgetting you're from Israel, so you probably know more about this than I do. But like from what I've heard, it was people like Palestinians who worked for the government who they took as hostage. So I don't really know who exactly they're taking as hostage, but like either way, with this hostage deal, what I'm proposing isn't that, oh yeah, they take the hostage deal, then they just do nothing. Like a lot of people are saying that, like people who are pro-Palestine, they just want Israel to do nothing. Like no, of course eradicate Hamas, but take that deal first, because like if you don't take that deal, again, like knowing how much of religious fundamentalists Hamas are, if you close in on them and they realize like, oh shit, the only two options we're gonna have are either to surrender to Israel and give them the hostages to like hope for to beg for mercy and to have some like the best, like if they're down to that, they'll just kill the hostages if they know they have no way out, because that's sort of what their religion tells them to do. So the only way to get these hostages back would be to negotiate and then kill the members of Hamas anyway, because there's nothing in that negotiation that says leave Hamas alone after that. Like, no, you don't leave Hamas alone. You just get your hostages back and then kill Hamas.
You don't think we should pressure Hamas into a more favorable negotiations towards Israel
But
before
we're saying we're
negotiating?
not negotiating with them. But I mean, we can't negotiate Hamas to give back the hostages. Like they aren't gonna give back the hostages.
Why not?
Yeah, they've
Because they're
given some
terrorists.
back already. They released some already.
They released some under what conditions?
Yeah, they released 4 of them.
Yeah,
4
what?
or 6.
Yeah, what were the conditions?
There were not like Israelis with passports of America and more.
Yeah. Okay.
Like people don't actually live in Israel and just came to Israel for the holiday because it was in the end of the holiday when they attacked. And so they captured a lot of Americans who just came to celebrate with their family.
Yeah. So they released American hostages.
They released like 2 or 4 American hostages. Israel managed to rescue 1 Israeli soldier, and I think that's it.
No,
Yeah.
wasn't there like some people with like dual national citizenship, like with Israel and then some other place or something?
Yeah, there was 2 of those. There were 2 from the US, 2 who have like split citizenship with Israel and another place, and 1 soldier that was being rescued. But it's not Hamas that give them back. It's Israel found her inside the tunnels.
Aren't they like
So
Hamas guarding the hostages? Like I don't know.
yes, it does. It did.
I feel like the only thing that it
By
makes
what?
yeah. I feel like the only
Hmm?
thing that it makes sense from Hamas's perspectives would be to like keep all the hostages like with like a lot of guards, and if they think for some reason, oh, we're going to get taken out, they just kill the hostage before Israel has a chance to get to them because like their religion
No, you
would.
don't. No. You want to keep them alive right as Israel's getting to you. Otherwise, you have no leverage.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I guess, but like they know that Israel isn't going to negotiate. If they see that Israel's closing in on them and they're about to lose all the leverage, it's like they know that there's no way they're going to get out. Like with the
yeah, but they know that if they will give back like in on the place the uh, the one they captured, they might stay alive, and some of them actually will do that.
Plus, the
That's the
entire
hope,
point
at
of
least.
taking hostages is to negotiate. So
yeah. I don't know, because
No,
Hamas, their religious
the reason why they do that is to make Israel less likely to attack them.
Yeah.
Like with airstrikes and stuff, for making them not
but but they
harm.
already have their own citizens as like shields to do that, though. Don't they?
Yeah, but you have their citizens that are being bombed, but they don't care about the people.
Mm.
So and they know Israel don't mind like they're dead if it means this is gonna be like if it's gonna hit Hamas.
Okay.
As long as it hit Hamas, like Israel not supposed to care much about their people, and they still do, but they don't supposed to.
Yeah. I don't know anything. Like, there's a lot of stuff that's being brought up here that I just knew nothing about, so I don't really know how to respond
Okay,
to
I
it.
feel like a lot of the stuff that CPT Jukes has brought up, I've brought up at some point, but yeah, it's kind of gone over your head.
No, like he
I can't hear
definitely.
you because you're high.
Oh yeah, dude, these fucking things I took. I don't know how the hell I'm still feeling it. Like I took 350 milligrams of I think THC. Like these fucking gummies, dude. I took them yesterday. They're still in effect, dude. My brain's still fried from that shit. Like
You shouldn't take you should those are like what?
let bro, let me try
weed
to.
gummies?
Oh yeah,
You
bro.
shouldn't take those.
Let me try to show you. Wait. Uh,
I saw an ad for them and they don't look good.
yeah.
But anyways, uh, back on topic.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
So when let's see what we do know about the conflict right now. We have a group which uses their civilians as cannon fodder uh, and human shields,
Yeah,
and
pretty
hides behind them, and who attacked Israel, and now Israel trying to rid the world from those people. So Israel have to finish the job. Okay.
Oh yeah, they have to
Now,
destroy a mob.
yes.
Yeah, they have to
So
cripple them.
now the question is Israel going to do anything to make the soldiers survive the battle or the fighting,
I think their
or
own
let
soldiers.
the soldiers die?
I think
So
civilian casualties take priority over their soldiers. Like wherever the civilians are. Of course, I get them prioritizing their own civilians over Gazan civilians. Like of course, but them prioritizing their own militaries, like over civilians, like that I don't get. To me, like if you're going to have to do an operation and you have to choose between 20 of your soldiers dying and 300 civilians that aren't US citizens dying, like that's what your military is for, to reduce civilian
no, the
casualties as much
military
as
is
you can
to
in your endeavors.
no, your military is for defending your country.
As
Yeah.
Is
yeah,
not to die for your country, is to defend it.
yeah,
And if dying is on the table, yes, they might die. That's
yeah.
true. But if you can, if the country, and every country will do that, every country did that in the past, they will take every options that reduces the chances for their people to die.
And I like the thing is the IDF are like the most heavily armed. I think they've got some of the best chances if they go in like themselves to take out Hamas. I mean, I just don't get prioritizing your soldiers' lives when they're on the line of duty and like they're just doing their job versus civilians who like that's not their job to die to like they aren't told by any of that. And to me it's like yeah, your military, a lot of them might have to die, that's just like part of the job. But like when it's a compromise between deaths from your military versus deaths from civilians, to me it doesn't really matter where the civilians are from. You have to protect the civilians
So
before.
you say you prefer your US soldiers in Iraq to die over the
Iraqi
civilians
civilians,
who most likely will shoot those soldiers.
well, they don't have guns, but like if Gaza was
They do.
I know it, like again if
Gaza,
Gaza
Gazan have tons of weapons because that's the only thing the Hamas actually buy.
Do you disagree with hierarchy of who Israel should be protecting? Israeli civilians said yes. Yeah, yeah, except for Hamas members. I don't even think they should be on that list at all. But
Well, I mean, it's just priority.
Yeah,
is
yeah.
of like, okay,
Yeah,
so you
I
agree
agree
that
with that.
IDF soldiers take priority over, like the lives of IDF soldiers or take priority over Palestinian civilians.
No. I disagree with that one. I
So you don't
think
agree
those.
with this then?
No. I read it wrong. I thought you said. So I think Israeli civilians should take their number one, then Palestinian civilians, then IDF soldiers, then Hamas members, of course. Yeah, because
Why?
civilians are always like higher than like because civilians you always gotta
But it's
protect.
not your civilians. You are not the body who needs protecting them.
But I mean, yeah, maybe you don't. Except that you're the one carrying out the attack. So by definition of you being the one involved, you being the one bombing them, like you have responsibility over these civilians, since you'd be the ones taking them out. So if you have to choose a
But that's why
compromise,
you have laws. Laws prevent an army, a military to attack civilian, to target civilians. But Israel
oh yeah,
doesn't target civilians. As long as Israel doesn't target civilians, I don't see a reason why Israel should give up the lives of the soldiers for the lives of the people who Israel
to
is
reduce.
not supposed to try to protect.
Yeah, because they are, it's not about trying to protect them, it's about reducing their own casualties. And it's like either Israel kills a bunch of civilians in the mix of killing some terrorists, or they kill a lot less civilians while killing these terrorists, but they sacrifice a lot of their soldiers who that's their job. So I think when they're the ones
Again,
who are
it's not their
killing,
job to die, it's their jobs to fight. They are
Yeah,
soldiers, they are fighters. They're not,
Robin MC, if this is the case you're making, there's no point in any country having a military. They're just supposed
yeah.
to protect all civilians.
but the difference is the military they sign up
That
for
would,
is
it would just be a military without a country at that. Sorry, go on.
a military without a country. What? I'm not
Yeah.
sure what you're talking about. No, I'm just saying like your military doesn't take priority over civilians because like I think I've made the point pretty clearly.
So, okay, so why should any country have a military then? They should all just
To
be
protect
the
themselves.
military belonging to no country and just protect all civilians.
Well, of course, because I set out this hierarchy, protecting their own civilians first, then protecting, and again, like they are only their goal isn't to protect these like if Hamas kills Palestinians, they have no role in that. They don't owe these Palestinians to defend them. But if they are the ones going after these people, bombing them, they have the responsibility to make sure that they're reducing the casualties they're causing as much as possible. And if they can use their military for that, well, that's one means that they have. And the military, like they,
Yeah, but giving up lives of people to save the life of not your people, instead of giving them a warning before shooting the building down.
yeah, but again, like
I
you
would
said, the
say
warning doesn't matter
100%
because
give the warning. The warning does matter for the people because it's not, sorry. The warning does matter for Israel because Israel is warning them to get away. If they are gonna move, or if they are not able to move because of their governing body, it's not on Israel.
Okay,
It's on
uh,
Hamas.
but that like Israel knows
Robin, have you
that. What?
ever been on an airplane before?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, so you know those masks that come out of the ceiling just in case,
yeah,
like there's a problem with the air?
yeah,
Do you know how you're supposed to help put the mask on
yeah,
yourself before you help put it on a child? You know why
yeah.
that is?
Well, yeah.
Why
Otherwise,
is it?
you could suffocate and be of no use to helping someone else because you yourself is suffocating. Yeah.
Right. So if an army is sacrificing themselves for civilians that aren't even their own, over themselves, then they're not and a significant
How
amount
they
die
will
from that,
protect their
there's not
own
going to be
people.
any left to protect their own civilians.
Yeah, but the assumption from this is that, again, like Hamas is way stronger than the IDF. Like Hamas, like the IDF doesn't even compare with it. I think it's the other way around. Like how many casualties from the IDF do you think there would be if they carried it out that way? Maybe
But
like
why
30?
is like that? No, but why it's like that?
Why
Because
it's like
Israel takes every precaution to protect their soldiers, and Hamas doesn't.
oh, they should take every means to protect their soldiers in the endeavor. So they should make sure they're armed when they go in, like armed and like have all the bomb vests, the bomb-free vest, the like
But the vest doesn't protect them.
bullet.
The vest only gives them a chance to survive a bullet.
Yeah, but they are at
What
war.
about
Like,
the
what are they gonna do?
explosions? What about the mines that the Hamas have? What
Yeah.
about the rockets that Hamas have, like the RPGs that they have on the ground? They shot at a tank and killed eight soldiers like a week and a half ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
here's the thing.
Tank.
Here's the thing, Robin. If Israel wasn't blowing up buildings in Gaza, Hamas would be blowing up their own buildings if it meant
Killing
it could
Israeli
kill IDF
soldiers, yeah.
soldiers. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
I mean, again, I just feel like the obvious place to go with this is first you try to take out the big dogs, like the people on top who are like giving the orders, giving the commands. You have to first, like as soon as October 7th happened, you don't go straight to bombing as they did. Like you first have to conduct an investigation, make sure like who exactly did this, and then like anytime you could strike them up from above, just
Okay.
like we did with Osama bin Laden, you do that if you can, and like but you first try to go after the people on top, and if that doesn't work, like you go down. But like I don't know, I have trouble assuming that like Netanyahu is just like he's all for just saving civilians. He cares so much about his civilians and not just his image and staying in power because like again, firstly he was the one who
I would say
popped up.
care more for his image, because I'm not for him whatsoever. And I think the guy should resign
Yeah,
the minute this war ends.
of course, yeah.
But at the same time, does it really matter right now?
Yeah, of
Like
course.
if he does it to protect his image, or
Yeah,
he
oh
does
no,
it
I'm not
because he
arguing.
actually cares, it doesn't really matter.
No, I don't care what the motivation behind his actions are, as long as the actions are good, whether he is the best or the. But the reason why I'm bringing up like his motivations clearly don't seem to be pure is that I'm also very skeptical of what he's saying he's doing. Like he's saying he's acting all in self-defense, but then he's bringing up. Firstly, do you know why Netanyahu seems to be confused as to whether or not he is a Jew or a Christian? Like he keeps bringing up these Bible verses about like genocide. Like what? Why is he following the Bible all of a sudden? Like
He always was a Jew.
yes,
The thing you said is about like the protection of Israel. In what you read, I don't remember exactly the words, but it's
he was comparing
meant
them to the Amlek.
about
He was referencing the Amlek.
yeah,
yes.
but the whole verse was about like the protection of Israel, of the land of Israel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
the
it
Amlek
does fit the
where it was an
place.
attacking tribe. That's why he was drawing parallels with
Yeah.
them.
I know, because Netanyahu was quoting the Bible, saying like I don't know, like he was quoting a Bible verse that said like kill every man, child, and ox because we have to or something. I was like, I don't know. He's like, firstly, why is he quoting the Bible since that's not even the right religion? He's not even like the Bible isn't Jewish.
Oh no, the Torah and the Bible almost identical.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know, like him quoting these Bible verses that say, "Oh well, we must kill every man, child, and like animal and all of that stuff. It's like his rhetoric doesn't even really seem aligned a lot of the time with self-defense. It's like,
Okay, no. The Amalek thing was definitely line of self-defense because hold on. If I look up Amalek, it was people that were trying to like in the in the Bible it was an enemy that was trying to wage war on the Israelites.
yeah,
So he was saying that like how he was trying to say like how we defeated them, we have to defeat Hamas. Like Hamas is like the modern day Amalek is what he
yeah,
was trying to say. And it just so happened that passage had like a group like had like a
yeah,
gory depiction it was pointing out. I don't know if that was intentional or not.
yeah. I mean, to be fair, he's the president. Like, he should know better if that's not really what he meant. Like, he didn't come out saying that this isn't what he
To
meant.
be fair,
Like,
all you'd have to say, like I said, is I wasn't referencing
yeah,
the
of
part
course.
about how we should deal with
Yeah.
him. Like I'm just saying that, just like how there was an enemy back
Yeah.
then, Hamas
Yeah.
would be our enemy now.
Yeah, but like the vibe I'm getting from this, it seems like y'all have a lot more information than I have about it. Like, there's a lot of things here that I didn't know, and I'm not really sure how to respond because I don't know a lot of the context. But when you like look at Netanyahu and like his past, it just doesn't really seem to make sense given like all the context I have. That oh well, like he really is just trying to like do the best for his civilians and wipe out Hamas. Like, I don't know, the way that he's
But Robin,
approaching.
this is exactly the problem in the West right now. Most of the people don't know the context.
Yeah,
Most of the people don't know exactly what Hamas even is. Some of the people, sadly, actually saying the October 7 it wasn't even real, that
what?
Israel is saying it.
Well, I don't know anyone who
Yeah.
says that, but also the status quo on like in the West is definitely pro-Israel. I mean, you look at the United States, like what do we have? We have like on the right, we have people literally calling to end the First Amendment, like Trump and DeSantis on the right, like they were definitely pro-Israel, and then with the left, Joe Biden, we will stand unconditionally with Israel.
The government is, most of them, the
Yeah,
government is aligned with Israel,
and so is
but
the media.
the UN is not.
Yeah, the UN is.
The UN is not.
Yeah.
The people in millions of people inside those countries does not. And what you see right now around the world are the start of, sorry I bring it up like that, but the start of Nazism, of Jewish people around the world fearing for their life and making sure to not look like Jewish,
Yeah,
fearing for people to attack them.
yeah. And I've
And you
heard,
see this right now in the US. You see it in London when people attacked Jewish people, a Jewish guy, and killed him, and killed the guy because he was Jewish.
yeah,
And you don't see anything about it on the news.
oh, I'm sure you
And
do. I'm sure you do. But like everything that I've said, like sort of like these videos that you reference, like there's a lot of people just saying, oh well, the West is so against Israel. But like pretty much everybody who I know in my real life, for example, will stand by Israel. They like I don't know, like Israel again has a lobby. They have AIPAC. The Palestinians don't have a lobby cheering for them. It's like
they have. What do you mean? They have a giant fucking crowd
They
everywhere
do.
in the world. They have
a lot.
22 states. They have 22 states who stand with them.
Yeah, I meant like a lobby, as in like, they're giving like APAC has money, they get to control a lot of the stuff in the United States and all. But like on these
But they
and
get tons of money.
yeah,
They got like, I think, 40 million from October.
Yeah, there is
Yeah.
Palestinian
Wait, just a
lobbyists.
second. I'll be right back. Just a second. Okay, I'm gonna need some of
Let's see how
this.
much money they
And yeah,
got
some of that.
from the start of the war.
Okay, where's my fucking wheat, dude? Give me that shit. Okay, I got some of that. Pretty good. Wait. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, so like on the anti-Semitic thing, like I'm sure again, like anti-Semitism has grown, and like what I brought up when you said that earlier is like yeah, anti-Semitism. You said what, by 300% it's grown, or what did you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
400%.
yeah, 400%. And I brought up like with COVID, anti-Asian discrimination, like rose by like 10,000% or something like that. But like yeah, you're saying like with the anti-Jewish discrimination, like actual terrorist attacks have grown, but with anti-Muslim, I mean anti-Chinese thing, like
You
it.
say there is
But
the country, the US said a lot, specifically
yeah,
the Muslim, I forgot the name of her.
yeah,
Um, Never mind.
no,
The one who said that a lot of Muslim hate has been around
yeah,
right now because of the attacks.
yeah. But like the point,
I never saw any Muslim afraid to go to the streets. Although I did see multiple Jewish people got stuck in a library for hours.
oh, yeah,
I saw
I
that
did
too.
see, uh,
I saw it too, the library
yeah.
thing.
yeah,
But
I
and all
did
of that's
see,
wrong.
I did see the 7th of October, before Israel even retaliated, a teacher in uni that
Yeah.
came out and said this attack was exhilarating and amazing, and it's so good that they actually fight back. Fight what?
Yeah, yeah, I didn't see this one, but
They
like,
slaughtered people.
yeah, but like the libraries, the people, like, apparently in colleges, there's also like a bunch of Jewish students who are just getting like pretty much cornered and all because the Hamas supporters were like, I feel Secular Talks covered this, but the thing is, when I bring up like the COVID anti-Asian discrimination rose by 10,000%, the point I'm trying to make is 10,000%, right? Rising that means nothing, because if you look at it from baseline, how many people hated Jews like at the beginning? Nobody. Like how many people anti-Asian discrimination rose by 10,000%?
Actually, it's
Oh,
not
so it
true
went from
because
0 to 0.
50% of the hate crimes, 50% of the hate crime in the US are committed on Jews.
It's actually 54%.
54% of the hate crime in the US, the victim of that is Jews.
True.
And
Wow.
the
didn't know that.
the people who do that most of the time, which is it's not even spoken much, and that's the funny thing, is Muslims.
Yeah, that's absolutely true, because their religion literally commands kill non-believers. So like, what do you expect? But of course, like the thing is, the side who was going to be for Hamas, they're going to be loud in their disapproval. But there are so little people, like so little people actually support Hamas in the United States, while most people are going to be pro-Israel. Like of course, the like little bitty bit who are actually in favor of Hamas, they're going to be loud and they're going to be destructive and they're going to be just carry out despicable acts of violence, because like that's what Hamas does. But uh, again, like I don't think there are a lot, but definitely the religion of Islam does tend to command some pretty like hateful things. But that's why like if you look at the religion of Christianity, it's like a softball version of that. And the people over here, like in the United States, they aren't hateful like their Bible is, because over here we live in a first world country. We've had time for things to develop, and I would say even though the Bible is less hateful than the Quran, the reason why Christians aren't like nearly as hateful as Muslims is because we've had time to advance, and there's just a detachment between our culture now as it's developed and what religions were back when they were created, like over 1,000 years ago. And the reasons why Palestinians following their Muslim religion, they're going to be so extreme is that they're still in this third world shit where like all they have is their religion. These are religious fundamentalist countries we're talking about, like the Muslim countries, and the only way we're going to get them to progress is by, yes, so of course taking out Hamas. That's specifically in Palestine, taking out Hamas, maybe giving Palestinians more acceptable living conditions, but that's also a thing we could have done to Hamas, like getting the civilians and by the way, I'm just, this is a side tangent. You keep saying that Gazans are armed. Like if we try to, like if the IDF tries to go in Gaza to take out Hamas, like Palestine civilians are gonna start. Like if Gazan civilians were armed, Hamas would be gone because Gaza would have revolted against Hamas and just destroyed Hamas themselves.
I want, may I send here something a bit hard to watch?
Well, I've seen a lot of
It's
those clips.
it's a almost naked girl
Oh,
from
yeah.
Israel who were taken by Hamas military, and all the people in the streets are Gazan civilians who watch it happen, spit
Yeah.
on her, and hit her body.
I don't know if I've shown Robin this clip, but I'm pretty sure I've definitely told him about it.
Wait, could you
So
what clip?
I will post it here.
I was zoned out. Dude, that's the problem with like my brain a lot of the time. It just shuts off. It just randomly starts shutting off and I just miss what the fuck you're saying. But yeah, I mean, yeah,
I
like
said about I'm gonna post it and you will see. It's a woman that got who were killed and raped by Hamas.
Yeah.
And after they finished, they took her into Gaza, half naked,
yeah.
and the Gazan civilians starting spitting at her and mutilating her body.
Yeah.
The civilians.
Yeah, well, those civilians should
Not
obviously
the
be brought to justice because once you once you go
Robin's
from
gonna try and argue they're not all like that.
oh yeah, of course they aren't all like that. Just like Americans are like not all white people are racist. It's sort of the same shit in my opinion. But like of course those who carried out those actions, those specifically, they should be brought to justice. Once there's speech to incident of violence, they should be brought to justice and have to face justice for what they've done. But like I get y'all like y'all are making a lot of good points that I didn't like. For example, y'all both brought up, and now I'm like starting to like feel more like that might be like a fair point that apparently this 13 Hamas members like that isn't the actual representation of Hamas. But I'm really like I really don't understand why Secular Talk wouldn't have brought that up if that was the case. So I'm still skeptical for that reason. But y'all
Secular
both brought that
Talk
up.
hates Israel.
I mean that's sort of a naive way to put it. Like
I know. Sorry. It's kind of
like he's
yeah,
definitely a good
kind of
faith.
biased, but still.
No, like he's definitely a good faith person. I feel like he, like I don't know, like since I haven't heard anybody else bring that up, but like I know like CP Jukes, like the videos you had brought up, a lot of the time people who are defending Israel, they just tend to dance around the issues and try to bring up like, oh well, how this started, everything, like they don't tend to bring up like the arguments that y'all make.
The
And
reason
like,
yeah, but the reason why Israel do that is because the all side of the Palestinians said is, what did Israel expect after doing that and that and that and that? So pro-Israel is trying to do the opposite what are you talking about? Israel is not apartheid. Israel didn't start a war in 1948. Israel didn't cause the Nakba, and that's
Yeah.
kind of stupid for them to say
Yeah.
that Israel did.
I don't know what
When
Nakba is.
in
I don't know what any of
history,
this is. But yeah, and,
that's the point, though.
yeah. And
Like
by the way,
they always bring up the, history, so for Israel do the same.
Yeah, so by the way, the reason why I'm saying it's dancing around the issue is because, like, at least I believe, I don't think history is relevant to anything. When people try to bring up history, it's sort of just, unless it's the recent history, like, I don't know, when, like, the only thing that matters is what is going on now and what can we do to fix it now. Like, when they were bringing up history, they were sort of bringing up history to try and say like, oh, whose fault is it on? Like pin the fault on this person rather than this person because that's all that history can bring us. Like who was originally responsible? But the only thing that matters now is well, what's going on now, not before, but now, and how can we fix it now? And I don't know what they were trying to do in that video was show how oh well at the beginning it was Hamas who started it. It wasn't Israel because oh well yeah October 7th that's not where it starts. It starts with the occupation and all of that. But it also starts way before that. Except that all the people who were alive back then, well, they aren't alive anymore. So if you're gonna go with history to like shift the blame to give like more
Yes,
context,
but
Actually, they
there's
are
no one
alive.
to punish
A lot of
anymore
them.
because they're all
some
dead.
of them are, but the Palestinian uses the thing that they are pushed away from their country and are now homeless, kind of. So refugees.
Yeah.
So refugees is when when you don't have an actual country and you're trying to get a country for yourself, and when you speak to them like refugees, that's like a group of people. But for Hamas members, for Palestinian for some reason keep the refugees title even for generations like the generations to come. So even if you are not a refugee because you were born at your place right now at the
Hello.
West Bank, for some reason they got as the title of refugees as well.
What are you talking about? Because people have the title refugee. This history. I'm having a hard time following. So I was like talking about whether or not the history matters in this.
The history does matter, but not to the point that pro-Palestine is trying to suggest, because they're taking points in history and saying, you see, this happened there, but doesn't explain anything in the area. Like you see the map, the 4 maps that show Palestine and then Jewish and Palestine and a bit Israel took over.
Yeah.
They don't explain that the Arab nations attacked and then Israel took some of the land.
So,
They don't explain anything and just say, "Oh, you see, Israel is like cancer.
no, like
It
that
spreads around and take over."
So the reason why I brought up this point about history is because, well, not only me, but all the people who I watch and agree with who are like pro-Palestine, what they're bringing up is like arguments for the pro-Palestine thing. They aren't bringing up history at all. They're saying, oh yeah, like there was this apartheid, but the only reason why they bring up history is to say, oh well, like if you just try to keep going back and back and back, I'm sure at least Secular Talk has probably brought this up. If you keep bringing it back and back to like where it started, well, like you're just gonna find just oh well, it started back then. It started like I don't know, like I don't know if they've made that point
And
at
I
all.
agree
If
with
I've
that.
just made.
I agree with that, but that's the point the pro-Palestinian, most of the pro-Palestinians do.
And-
They are the ones that keep saying like from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free.
Okay, well, I'm not talking about those people. Like, those people are wrong too. If you're taking the side of Hamas, you're also wrong. But like, I'm talking about people who just say, "Well, the October 7th attack, we condemn that because we're not retarded." So I'm talking about people whose points of views are like at least somewhat legitimate. People who are saying we condemn October 7th, and for the same reason we condemn Israel's retaliation because they should retaliate against the people who are actually guilty, aka Hamas. But like, as you've pointed out, and it's like, I really didn't know that shit. I hadn't heard that from anybody. Like, that's what they're doing. The Hamas members, they're just is taken out of every building, not letting those people evacuate. Like, I haven't heard that from anybody, and I haven't heard any counterpoints to it. And I feel like with how much I've been listening to that, if that was just like true, there's just Hamas members outside of every place. Like, firstly, I would have heard of that, but secondly, those like that only 13 Hamas members were killed number would have been disproven so much that I would have had to hear about it. Like, if it was just so inaccurate. So, like, I mean, I've only heard that from both of y'all, and now that I've heard it from both of y'all, like two independent people, it's like, I really don't know what to think because I have everybody telling me something. Like, everybody who I would have relied on to tell me things like that, if that 90% civilian death rate, like you look at any of these people who, like, that's all they talk about, 90% civilian death rate. Like, if that
well,
was
do you
just
do you
inaccurate,
get
I feel
any?
like it would have been debunked from all over the place.
Well, like I said, it's not necessarily inaccurate. It's more misleading because, like I said, if it's just in reference to officials, then
But
That's
like,
true.
but who are the
well, it's
target?
technically not
Like
inaccurate.
the target is Hamas, so it would be more than it would be a straight up lie if you said, "Oh, but it's only three." But the people you're going after is Hamas. Like, those members of Hamas you'd be killing, they'd literally be like keeping the hostages, which are their own civilians, inside. So you obviously want to kill them. So that'd be obviously false reporting if you said, "Oh, it's just 13." All the other people than those 13 are innocent, because that's pretty much the line that we're getting, and like that's the
They are
assumption
doing
I've
that.
always had from
They
this.
are saying the civilians, even the younger fighters of them. Like I said, they started around 12, 10. So if one of the soldiers, the Hamas soldiers, is like 15 or 14 and he dies, they will say, "Oh yeah, it's one of the kids, the civilian kids that die."
That's not a civilian. Like, that's no
But
longer a
for
civilian.
them, for their propaganda, it is.
Yeah, true. A lot of
Is
the
the
times,
UN saying that?
like a lot of the times, news sources biased towards Palestine will count Hamas members as civilians. Unfortunately,
Is the UN doing that? Because they wouldn't get away with doing that.
The
But
UN doesn't have a say in that, and the
oh
UN
yeah,
anyway support Hamas on that.
by the way, the UN is hella biased against Israel.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know anything about that. I mean, Israel has legit bombed UN safe houses inside of Gaza. So, I mean, that's pretty insane by itself. But yeah, I
It's pretty
get.
insane. Hamas is using them for store weapons in.
But how do like the UN is responsible for those safe houses, so the UN controls them. If the UN had been
Yeah,
taken
but
over by
if
Gaza, I mean by
yeah, but if you are a reporter or a UN worker who are in Gaza and will say anything about anything at all against Hamas, you will not return to being a reporter, or you will not return at all to the UN. You'll die.
I'm not sure. Hmm.
Anyways, Robin, you said that that you haven't been you haven't been seeing a lot of like news reporters saying the stuff we're saying, but do you listen to any sources that are pro-Israel? Because I know Secular Talk and Humanist Report are both pro-Palestine. So
Oh yeah, I definitely
is
watch videos every so often. Like Ben Shapiro, for example, I listen to him a lot. Like he hasn't
It
brought
took me
any of
some
that
time
up.
to find it, but you can watch it right now if you.
Like, yeah, I look at the stuff you send me. I look at like the videos you send me as CP Jukes, and like yeah, like as you saw
No,
in,
I mean the one that I just sent.
yeah, dude, I don't. Can I even put that on my video? Probably not.
It was on YouTube that was found, but
Yeah, let me
No,
just
no,
turn my
no.
display
YouTube will
capture
only
on.
don't
allow it
put it.
if it's with a trusted source. If it's like a
What is it?
random guy posting it, they're gonna take the video down.
Yeah,
So don't put it on the video, but
I see.
it's just for you to notice, like
Yeah,
people around it are Palestinian civilians. Some of the people in the car are civilians. Even the one like who just pull out the gun is a civilian.
yeah.
So
And then, like, if the civilians
uh,
were armed, they would have taken out Hamas, since Hamas is the one doing this to them. But
but they are for Hamas.
Therefore, yeah.
yeah, I mean, I guess a bunch of them might be, but that again, that makes no sense since
More than
Hamas is the one
50% of
oppressing them.
them, according to their
Right.
to Hamas itself, more than 50% of the civilians in Gaza are for Hamas.
Yeah, I mean, why did
According
they
to
stop having
Hamas,
elections? Why did they stop having
Because
elections?
Hamas
because
still,
Yeah, if they
Hamas
have the
don't
people on
want
their
any
side.
chances for them to lose.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
Hamas like
I mean, that
consolidated
makes
their
sense
power.
too, but yeah,
By the way, you said it doesn't make any sense that Palestinians like the people that oppress them. Well, this is what I mean when I say that they don't really think like us.
They are
Because like
brainwashed.
yeah, they're
like
brainwashed.
when you believe in the concept of an afterlife, and even Christians here in America, they're not like they'll probably tell you they believe in heaven, but they don't act in everyday life like they know they're going to go
Yeah.
to heaven.
But that
But
situation sort of turns around when you have like Israel just bombing the hell out of all of the buildings, and the people who are restraining the civilians from leaving those buildings are just their own leaders, just forcing them to stay in there to die. And it's like if they're holding their own civilians at gunpoint, forcing them to die, you'd think their own like their people, especially if they're armed, would turn on Hamas, right?
some of them don't. Some of them don't need to be held at gunpoint. Some of them do it willingly.
Yeah.
Think about it like that, okay? You have a people who are okay with going to be a suicide bomber for your religion.
Yeah.
So you will be a martyr for Islam, and you will get the 72 virgins after you die.
Yeah, of course. That's why the people who are like keeping Hamas hostage, like if they find out that, oh well, they're gonna have to surrender because they don't have the upper hand anymore. Like they're gonna kill the hostages before surrendering because they don't care if they're gonna live. So, but
They
yeah, I
don't care, but
definitely
they
get
know
that.
but they know Israel and like the rest of the world cares if they live. That's why they keep them.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean that was a separate point from earlier about like trying to save them. Like I was basically saying this unless we get a negotiation with Hamas, they aren't gonna let the hostages go even if we like completely like cripple them and we give them no other option. They're just gonna kill the hostages if they see they can't get anything else out of them.
Or Israel soldier will get there in time and just
Yeah.
rescue the civilians like they rescued the soldier like a week ago.
Yeah. I don't know how they get. I thought they'd have a bunch of Hamas members just guarding them and making sure it like if it's gonna be the case that Israel is gonna like their soldiers are going to take us out. We're either gonna all die with the with the hostage staying alive, or we're gonna like be captured without them staying alive. Yeah, I think if they realize that they're on the brink of defeat, like they'll just kill the hostages just to like not have let them be captured. But
Like to spite
I
Israel.
went on a tangent there. What were we even talking about?
on the fact that Israel only options right now is to attack.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely like attack,
And
but I don't think they're like attacking in the right direction. Like of course if
What's the right
there's
direction?
well, firstly,
yeah, what is the right direction?
yeah, firstly try to buy off the Qatar government, and secondly, like if you're gonna go with these buildings,
can't do
just
that.
yeah, as I said, I would say bring the military in, and even if the military like a lot of them dies, firstly they're much better equipped than Hamas is. They're probably a lot more numerous. They could just like there would be some like casualties on their end. Like a lot of IDF soldiers would die, but a lot less would die than say the amount of civilians who are dying right now. So if they have like 30 IDF soldiers who die instead of 0, like oh that sucks, but that's better than having 9,000 Palestinian civilians just die for those like 30 or so IDF soldiers who would die. And of course, you have to conduct an investigation first to make sure you get exactly who is responsible. And you have to do that before
You
you
think
start bombing.
It's not about who is responsible. It's not like we are gonna avenge. It's about making sure Israel is safe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
So it's not about who is responsible, which
Well, to keep
some of
Israel
them
safe,
was
you have to.
already gotten taken care of
So why
because
we
some
going
of them were
after?
dead.
Yeah. So why we going after Hamas and not Hezbollah? If it's not about like who are we like
Because
who
we
are we?
can't be the ones that attack first.
Yeah, exactly. So it's about going after the ones who are responsible. So it's like, and that's how you get Israel to be safe, by going after those who are responsible and bringing them to justice. That's sort of how you keep a
Yeah, but
country
you
safe, by
cannot
applying the law.
start a war. But you cannot start a war where the side you're gonna attack didn't attack you.
Yeah, yeah,
So you're making yourself the enemy of the world,
yeah, exactly, because the law makes sense.
which
Yeah,
is all the world is already against Israel anyway.
yeah,
The
that's
You can't be the
UN,
one that strikes first.
yeah,
the
but that
UN is already against Israel, is sanctioning Israel 15 times more than they sanctions Iran.
well,
15 times
yeah, because what
more
has
than they
Iran done?
sanctions
Has
Iran.
Iran even done anything? I mean, they're siding with
Iran,
Palestine, but have they taken any military action?
Iran trained, yeah, Iran trained the soldiers in Hezbollah
Oh yeah,
and in
Hamas.
Hamas.
Yeah, okay,
Iran
that's
giving them weapons and
Iran
money.
like helps fund Hamas, don't they?
Yeah,
yeah, that's what I heard. So yeah, to be fair, they did do some stuff, but yeah, like they should definitely be sanctioned for that. But yeah, to be
yet you
fair,
don't
that did
see it
start.
anywhere in the UN. The UN don't care about it.
Yeah,
As long as Israel is on the picture, Israel is the bad guy for the UN.
I mean, yeah, I don't know
Even
much about the UN.
the secretary of the UN
Yeah,
said it's bad the massacre that happened in October 7, but it's because of Israel.
yeah.
How can you
Uh,
even say that?
Are they saying that it's I mean, you can say that the October 7th attack was like caused by Israel's like apartheid and occupation, but like Hamas led the charge either. So they are, or they like you could say there's responsibility to be had on both sides, but to pin it specifically on
But
Israel, that doesn't
again,
really make sense.
those accusation on Israel is false, and
Uh,
Israel proved it time and time again.
how?
Yet every time they do that, someone else in the UN, no, it's not true, and vote against it.
How did?
So you have the fact that Israel is apartheid.
Yeah,
Israel can't be apartheid because we have 20% of the Israelis and Arabs. We have
that's not what. No, that what they
no,
mean by
but
that is heritage. Like you have to have Jewish heritage, otherwise you're not like given equal rights under the law. And Gazans
it's
are
not
the
true. Arabs
Rights are
have
equal.
equal rights.
what?
Arabs in Israel have equal rights. We have 3 Muslim Arab in the government.
Yeah.
We have an Arab who um, I forgot the name of it again. Who prosecuted
Yeah,
the prime minister of a Jewish state because he was guilty in doing something. And he prosecuted and he won. And everyone was no one bets an eye on that because it's obvious he's part of Israel.
okay. I
So
mean,
if
yeah, they do have some rights. So like Israel proved that it's
not
not an
some rights, they
apartheid.
have every
Some rights, all the
right.
rights.
They have every right. I raised up among Arabs.
Yeah, what rights do Jews have that Christians and Muslims don't have in Israel?
The right, whatever rights Gazans don't have that Israelis have. That like people in Gaza, they can't
Gazans
leave
are not
Gaza.
There's
part of
Gazans in Israel,
Israel.
though.
I mean,
Gaza are not part of Israel.
like not, Israel is literally keeping the like electricity and what. So it's not part of Israel, but Israel's giving them electricity, can cut off the electricity whenever they want, and it's not a part of
They
them.
give
when
them
they-
electricity because they're trying to be humanitarian.
I mean,
They're giving them water and electricity for free. I don't get water and electricity for free.
yeah.
I pay for it.
Well, yeah, you'd probably rather pay for it than get what they have because their water supplies aren't clean. But I mean,
The water supplies
aren't
from
clean 'cause
Israel
Hamas
is
builds
clean.
missiles with their
Hamas
pipe
doesn't.
in their water supply.
but like
Yeah,
Gaza,
Hamas doesn't do
Yeah.
anything for it.
yeah, but like Gaza is in Israel, like it's inside of Israel itself.
No, again, look again at the map. It's not inside of Israel.
It's
Israel have border with it. Yes, Israel blocked most of the people trying to get out from there
yeah,
because they're trying to kill Jews. But the one who doesn't, they give them permits to come to Israel and work for Israel and get more money for it.
yeah. But they like
So
I don't
Israel
know what
give them
specific
electricity
rights
for
they don't.
free. Wait, so Israel give them electricity for free
Yeah,
and not supposed to. They give them money for free. Although they say they want to kill them, they give the man who is not doing any terrorist. They give them a permit to come to work for Israel around Gaza, so they can come like every morning to do their job and get more money out of it from working in Gaza.
yeah.
And yet Israel is to blame from them from being poor.
No, I get what I really don't know. Like all of these things that you brought up, I've never heard Ben Shapiro or Secular talk or like any. I don't
Ben
know
Shapiro
brought
talked
this up
about it
before.
actually.
what you say makes
Ben
sense.
Shapiro actually talked about it.
Yeah, Ben Shapiro did bring this up.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, shit, I'm not
Like,
really
I mean,
sure.
he's
man.
textually cast. You might not
I
have
was
heard it, but
raised.
he did bring it up.
I was raised among 4 Arab villages.
Yeah.
4 of them. Now in the Intifada, in the second Intifada, I was around 4 or 5 years old, and one of the villages blocked my my entrance to the village and threw rocks at every car who tried to get in. Until today, they are still part of Israel. So saying they don't have a right rights as much as I do, they do. I buy from them everything. I like when I lived in that place. I went to their village and bought stuff from them, and they worked for us sometimes, and we worked for. They have like positions of managers in multiple stuff. Like they have every right, like every other citizen in Israel. Some of them are right now fighting in the army with Israel.
I don't know what to say. There's like so many things in here that like I feel like everything I've said has been debunked, and I don't have any response to that. I'm just not really well read on this like I should be, but I I don't know.
That's why I actually found an Israeli Arab who went to the US and trying to understand why people think that Israel is apartheid.
Oh, most people in the US don't
And
think so.
no, like when you have like he went to a campus and he had like a place where they made a group,
Yeah.
Free Palestine. So he came to them and like say, "Oh, I want to know. Like you say Israel is apartheid. What do you mean? Like how is it apartheid?"
Yeah,
And they couldn't answer to him.
well, the living conditions in Gaza, but like that would be debunked if Gaza just isn't a part of Israel. Like to me, I always felt like Gaza is a part of Israel. They're sort of under control by Hamas, so they sort of a different government in the same state. But if Gazans try to flee to Israel, they can't really do that because they're just locked in. Like I mean, Netanyahu literally sprays white phosphorus over like the borders and stuff. Apparently,
That's not true as well. That was a lie.
Yeah, that's actually been debunked. That I
it
thought that
was
was true. First, it's
verified
not.
by like in the that's
White
not.
phosphorus is not allowed
Oh yeah, it's not allowed, but they
because it's
did
a
it.
chemical weapon. No, they did not. It was debunked.
Okay, I'll have to see about that. I mean, I'm gonna have to go to work like in less than 20 minutes here, but Jesus fuck.
Yeah.
Well,
I really trying in the last month to learn as much as I can on the conflict
Same.
and to learn as much as I can on the Islam and trying to understand every side on the conflict. And every time I get to a point where there is a debate with a pro-Israel and pro-Palestine,
yeah,
I hear a lot of misinformation from the pro-Palestine side, who say a lot of stuff that is wrong, like about the apartheid, which is
yeah. I mean,
proven to be false,
yeah, everything.
with
Mm,
the cleansing, the ethnic cleansing.
Yeah.
Like I said, like if Israel tried to do ethnic cleansing to Palestine, we are doing a really bad job at it. Like they grew like 5 times the number they were 75 years ago.
Well,
So uh, and the fact that Israel is occupying Palestine. So when they say that, most of the time they mean like the entire Palestine, so the entire Israel.
yeah.
So they don't want Israeli state at all. They want Palestine. That's it.
Yeah, like I definitely get where you're coming from. I'm really not sure what to make of this. I should definitely look more into it. I'm fucking horrible at doing research, but I mean, what y'all are saying definitely makes sense, and I'm just surprised that I haven't heard any like the media over here. Most people are pro-Israel. Most people don't think Israel is an apartheid. Like I'm one of the few. Like the people who I listen to who agree with me, like their position isn't really widespread, but like I just don't see why the things you've been bringing up, like I haven't really heard these things be brought up, and
well, like I said, Ben Shapiro brought up the
yeah,
the thing about
Apartheid
like
and stuff.
Gaza and like
yeah,
the
I know,
electricity
but it's
thing,
like
and that kind of went over your head. So I mean, maybe you have been hearing it, and like you just weren't absorbing it.
No, but he made a really good point. Most of the stuff that we said today, there is a good chance he didn't get any info on
yeah,
because
because
he hears a lot about pro-Palestine side, and
Yeah.
pro-Palestine side trying to
I mean, I'm
mitigate the
definitely.
amount of information that you get.
Yeah, now one source I completely forgot to bring that up, but one source of information where I get a lot of people defending Israel is on Twitter because I'm also like constantly on Twitter. I respond to people on that, and so I don't watch as many like a lot of the videos except for like Ben Shapiro and like that's like a lot of the videos I watch are pro Palestine because they're like from the same two people, but on Twitter I see a lot of people who make like pro Palestine arguments and like as well as Ben Shapiro. Like I tend to see a lot of the time they're just dancing around issues and just making fallacies and all. So I don't get why they aren't just getting to the core of the issue. They're just like avoiding certain topics and
What can you give an example of like a fallacy? The time they've been dancing around
dude,
issues?
I'm so fucking high. Let me try to see this shit.
You mean
Okay.
the fact that they are going back every time to the history of the place?
Yeah, like every time they would go back to just grouping them together, like oh the Palestinians are doing this, and just trying to make it seem like oh what the people who are pro-Palestine want, they just want Israel to do nothing when like nobody on the other. They're trying to say oh well they're all Hamas members. Like people on the a lot of the time they try to call this and that person Hamas when all they said was we want either a ceasefire or we want to end the genocide, and they're saying these people are
Yeah, but
pro-Hamas.
like I said before, with the people who don't understand the fact that from the river to the sea is
Yeah.
the destruction of Israel, they
Yeah,
don't know it.
but not a
But
lot of
if
people
you are
say it.
part of it, a lot of people say it. A lot of people.
A
If you
lot,
look
yeah.
online,
I haven't
you will
seen
find
it.
like at least 70% of the crowd cheering it up.
Yeah.
And
I haven't
if you
seen that,
have
no.
like the people who are doing it, even if they don't know it's genocidal to Israel and Jewish, it's like I said before. If you drive a car without knowing how to drive a car, if you kill someone, you are still to blame.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that are pro Hamas that pretend to be pro Palestine.
Why wouldn't they just
But they'll like
say
hide their support for Hamas.
I know, like if you're
Yeah,
pro
Because
Hamas,
if
they
they
worry.
say they're
Oh.
pro Hamas,
Yeah.
they will get scolded.
No,
Because
because
most countries are against for a group of terrorism.
well, yeah, but also like people who would be pro-terrorism, like they also shouldn't be expected to hide it since like they're so like extreme in their religion. Like they think, oh yeah, we should. Like they'd probably be massacring people because their religion would say, oh well, if you do that, you'll go to heaven. So
If they can, they would.
I mean, we don't really see that a lot in the United States, so I guess they aren't like a lot of them pro Hamas in the United States at least. But
And yet again, we have the problem that 54% of the hate crimes are against Jews. Who said that
yeah, but how many
those
hate crimes are
54%?
there in the United States? Like not a lot.
A lot, a lot.
Lot.
Mm. Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. I don't
There
know.
is a lot. You have the black, you have the Me Too movement, and you have Black Lives Matter for a reason. You have the Me Too movement for a reason. Yet 54% of the hate crime is on it in Jews.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
So
Did you
think
not
about
see
it.
the-
If you need two
And
movements
Muslims
from two
commit
different
the.
people,
But then, like again, like Muslims commit the majority of terrorist attacks. Like Christians don't really commit terrorist attacks. Again, because like that's our
yeah,
thing in the
but
past.
that's the point. Like we are going back again to the fact that the radical Muslims, the radical notion of the Muslims right now control a lot of the
Yeah.
the Middle East.
Yeah.
And I agree with that completely. But it doesn't change the fact that the notion of anti-Semitic is going around the world with a very, very terrifying speed.
Yeah. Dude, like I have to go. I have like a 9-hour work shift ahead of me, you know.
Yeah, all right.
But yeah, shit,
That's okay.
I don't really know what to
This was
think.
nice
There's a-
talking to you guys.
Good night,
Of
sorry.
course, well, see y'all.